Hello and welcome to another JLIfe magazine interview. And today we're with Howard Cohen, who's a partner of our friends at Winston Solicitors. Good morning, Howard.
Good morning to you, Elliot.
How are you?
I'm very well today. Thanks very much.
Good. Well, it'd be nice for our viewers and readers, obviously, to understand your role at the company and tell us a little bit about that, and obviously your background.
Yeah, so I'm a solicitor, head of department in Wills and Probate at Winston Solicitors. It's a firm which was established in 2002. I've been working for the company for almost 6 years. My job basically involves advising clients regarding wills, powers of attorney, assisting them deal with administration of estates, and also assisting sometimes in deputyship matters. So I do my best to advise clients appropriately. Most solicitors have that job to do, and I'm really happy in the work I do. Winston Solicitors, it's a great firm to work for. I personally have been qualified since 1985, so that's 35 years. And times have changed, things have moved on, and COVID-19 has clearly caused massive upheaval and massive changes for all solicitors. Whereas before I was taking instructions all the time, face to face, seeing the client next to me. I've now had to get used to the idea of taking instructions by Zoom and by telephone, and it's quite new and innovative. We're having to work at home a lot of the time. For 3 months, I've just worked pure solid at home, and I've now started to come back to the office. It's been a phased return. I've been back to the office 2 or 3 times a week. One thing which has changed enormously was the fact that before I was physically reliant on files, the physical files, and now it's so much more used to just using the laptop at home and getting access to all our files through the laptop, through a system which is extremely good, called In Touch. So things have moved on and we're becoming far more paper light. So there have been some really good improvements technologically wise as a result of COVID-19.
Absolutely. Well, I know from talking to your colleagues Sarah and Lisa recently that the company is well positioned to embrace technology.
Absolutely, it's a modern company. It's a dynamic company, and we embrace change and modern technology. And that's absolutely correct.
Yeah. So obviously, you mentioned COVID-19 and how it's affected the way you work.
Yes.
But has it affected the kind of need for for people to look at their kind of wills and probate situation?
Yes, I mean the COVID-19 has made people realise, how easy it is to leave this world. Everyone's mortal, nobody's immortal, and it's made people realise that they might not be here for that long, and they need to sort out all their financial affairs. They need to sort out their wills. They need to sort out their powers of attorney. They need to put their house in order. It's crucial that they do these things, and it's made people realise the necessity of seeing a solicitor to sort these issues out as promptly as possible, because they might not get the chance to do it later on.
Yeah,
you never know what's going to happen to you, unfortunately.
Well, absolutely. I mean, obviously, wills. Everybody should have a will. We all know that, but of course, many people probably just kind of put it to the bottom of the list and keep moving it moving it back. So, what would you say to people who are doing that?
Well, I would say to you that you're not really taking into account the needs of your loved ones, because if you don't make a will, then the intestacy rules can apply, and it can cause a considerable hardship to those who are nearest and dearest to you. I mean, I'll give you an example of somebody who we dealt with, who I dealt with some years ago. He'd been separated from his wife for many, many, many years, could have been 20 years. and he had a new relationship. He'd been living with his new partner about 15 or 16 years. He kept saying to her, I'm going to make a will, I'll make a will. The house was in his name, all the assets were in his name. And the situation is that he died without making a will.
Uh,
That was, traumatic.
of
At the
course.
time, the partner was grieving. She had the possibility that his ex-wife, who was still in the picture because of the intestacy rules, she's the person entitled to his estate. Now, that's an extreme situation where somebody has lost out considerably because someone didn't bother to make a will.
Yeah.
So that person has indirectly been selfish, not making a will.
Yeah.
It truly illustrates how important, especially for cohabitees, because people have this belief that there is such a thing as a common law husband or common law wife, and that automatically they'll be entitled if somebody dies. But that's not the case. The intestacy rules are not fair, and it's absolutely essential that everybody makes that will before
Right.
it's too late.
And I presume
And
from a tax point of view, it's also quite important to have these things kind of set up and ready to go.
yes, the sooner this is organised, the better. You don't want to leave things. I've seen so many people leave things and they leave it too late. And that's often the case with people making powers of attorney. People think about it, they leave it. And then unfortunately, a time arises when somebody no longer has the capacity to make a power of attorney or even a will. And then it's too late. I've seen it so many times and it's really, really unfortunate. I've had couples who've been into the office to see me, and often you get one person who's absolutely there and the other isn't, and that person's just left it too late, and it's really, really sad. And I feel so much sympathy for the family, but we've just left it too late. My own mother, in her 70s, got dementia, but fortunately, there was an enjoined power of attorney in force in favour of myself and my sister, and that enabled us to sort things out so
And
easily
sort them quickly.
after
Yeah.
she lost capacity. So the
Yeah.
message there really is that don't leave it too late. You need to sort it out now because it might
Yeah.
never happen. Just
I
got to
guess
do it now.
people probably think, well, it's not really a subject we want to be talking about, and it's
I know nobody wants to talk about death or becoming mentally incapable, but if you don't think about these things, then your family can suffer later on, and
absolutely.
things can become so difficult for families. And at a time when, for instance, they're grieving over the loss of somebody, to have to sort these things out and to be faced with hardship is not it's not good. And I've
So
seen it so many times.
at Winston Solicitors, obviously they have experts like yourself who deal in this area. So can you tell us a little bit about working there and what the company offers that maybe you couldn't get with other companies in this area?
Sure. I mean, we offer a wide range of legal services, and all the solicitors here are very experienced and the specialists in their field. Everybody here is committed to providing clients with a professional service. Our firm has got fantastic reviews. You only have to go on Google to see how many good reviews we've got, and it's so refreshing. It's so pleasing to everybody who works in the firm to see all these amazing reviews. It just gives us so much satisfaction. And as a firm, I would say that the staff here, the partners here, are so good to get on with. I've never worked in a firm where everybody just gets on with each other so well, and lovely here, and it's a positive vibe. Everybody when you come into the office,
That's great.
I can only speak well of the firm. It's amazing, and it's so many positive features at what we do, and the feedback from clients is really fantastic. So it's just a delightful experience working here, really, because everything is so positive.
Do you
And
offer any in terms of wills and probate? Do you offer any kind of services or features that perhaps we couldn't get with another firm, for example?
That's a good question. All I can say is we provide extremely good client care, and furthermore, we are now able to take instructions via Zoom or by telephone. and these have proved so far to be a good mechanism of dealing with clients. Obviously, I prefer to see clients face to face. There's nothing that beats the rapport, seeing somebody next to you that's having a conversation with them. Nothing can ever beat that, to be honest with you. But in this time of crisis, you have to look at other methods of dealing with things. On Zoom, is proving a good way of dealing with things, and the telephone as well. So things are working well, even though it's a pandemic. People are working together, and everyone is in a position where they all know they've got to pull together to deal with this crisis.
Have you found that business has increased or reduced since the pandemic began?
In certain areas, I think it has improved. Wills are doing well. We're getting lots of inquiries regarding wills. Unfortunately, there have been quite a few people who've died recently, and that means it gives more work in relation to estates. It's unfortunately COVID-19 has meant that there have been quite a few deaths in the community, which is extremely sad. And even had cases where spouses have died within a short time of each other as a result of COVID-19, which is extremely sad. Traumatic for families involved to see two parents die. It's just awful, really, for these people.
No, absolutely right. It's been a terrible few months. We can only hope that things go forward in a positive manner. And it's been very interesting listening to what you've got to say, Howard. Just finally, if you could just tell us how people can get hold of you. I shall put your website ticker on the screen.
Well, if you look at the website, it's got my email address, and I can give you now. It's Howard C at winstonsolicitors.co.uk. You could ring me on the telephone. Phone number is easily available, and I'm happy to speak to anybody about anything to do with wills, powers of attorney, probate, any elderly client issues, in fact. So we're all here determined and dedicated to helping clients dealing with their legal needs.
That's brilliant. And really, a refreshing approach and a positive approach to
thank you.
How you go about doing your work. And I'm sure if readers are interested to get this side of things sorted out, they should go no further than visit yourself at Winston Solicitors. So thank you very much for joining us, and best of luck going forward.
Thank you.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you very much.